This is Eric Riker, and I'm John Kilpatrick. We're with Okolona Aikido in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And we like to experiment a lot, and so we're constantly doing experiments. And this is an experiment we're doing now. You know, Stanley Pranin was trying to get Nishio to write a book about what he did, and he said, well, I can't write a book because it's always changing, and so he put it off until he nearly waited too long. And we're in that situation too. We're always experimenting and learning and changing. But this is an experiment we're doing right now that we find very interesting. And the experiment was with Tenchi Nage. And we have a guy in our club, now he's getting over this now because we're getting him turned into an Aikido guy, but, which is good and bad. But he's in his 60s, he's at least twice my size, he's a very good martial artist, very well centered, and so you come in with Tenchi Nage the way I was taught it, and the way I was taught it, your body's straight and you come in like this. Well, when you come in straight like this with him, you just hit a wall. And I know tricks. I've been doing this a long time, and I know little tricks where I can throw him, but it's not right. I need something that really works well. So what I decided was, well, standing up like this, I'm not where I can exert forward pressure. So what I decided was that I need to be leaning forward into it like I would be if I were a football player pushing a sled or something, that I need to be where I can drive into him and see if that wouldn't work better. Now I'm not stupid enough that I'm trying to run over him. I'm going around him like you do in Aikido, but with good guys that are fighting you, that's not necessarily easy. So this is what I did. I decided to come in for my Tenchi Nage and come in this way. And when I did that, the effect was miraculous in that, I expected just to not be off balance coming in. But it ended up throwing my partner with tremendous force, which was shocking to all of us, and it was really shocking the first time we were thrown this way because we had not experienced throws like this. So when you start playing with this, be careful with your partner until you know what you're doing and your partner knows how to take the fall. So when we do this, there are several elements. Let's change harmony here. The first element is that as I come in here, I don't want to push him away, and as I'm dropping here, this hand goes very low. And I had not paid much attention to this before, but if you watch O-sensei, a lot of times he takes that hand almost to the floor when he's doing his throws. And the other thing is, now let's change, on the other hand, what we're doing here, the way you normally do Tenchi Nage, or at least the way I was taught it, and I was watching this on YouTube, people doing it, and they're doing the same thing. When they come in here, they're driving back this way with this hand a lot. Well, sometimes my partners reverse their legs. And we'll show that in a minute. So they do it like, if I ask them to do a Yokomanuchi, they do a cross instead, where the striking hand, the foot is the same as the striking hand is to the rear and not the front. Well, when you're standing in front of the guy, when you're entirely in front of him here, it's hard to throw him pushing him backwards. So you need to throw him to the side. I want to say to the side your own, and you'll say, well, that's not true, but if you think about it, in this throw, where you're throwing him and you're not on the same side, you're stepping past him to throw him. So, at any rate, when I do this throw then, I'm going to pull him to me, and I'm catching his head here and sliding over his head with my hand. So I slide through here, and throw here. And this does, another thing that this does when you throw this way is it throws him on the first step and not the second step. So if I do Tenchi Nage the standard way, I'm coming here, step 1, and then step 2, and I throw him. But when you do it this way, I come here, and he's thrown on the first step. So your throw happens a whole lot faster. Now what we're interested in is knife fighting a lot. A lot of our training is against knives. And this is not because we think we can go up against knives and not get cut or anything. We just think it's a fabulous way to train. So when he's got the knife and he's attacking, we'll do the slow. I'm coming, well, we come up with our hands up. This really helps break his structure. And then this hand slides down his arm, this one catches his head, and we bring him in here. So then with this technique against the knife attack, and you can see throwing him this way, it's almost instantaneous. He starts to come, you're coming in and you're just taking him out almost instantly. And another nice thing about this, when you're startled, your hands naturally come up. And so you've got this startle response built in here. And the other thing is a lot of times if we have people, and we do a lot of freestyle, a lot of technique where you don't know what your partner's going to do, and a lot of times they do a cross instead of a yokomanuchi. So if he comes in with a cross, this works extremely well also. So anyway, this is the experiment that we're doing. All these elements are important. Bringing your hands up between your eyes and your partner's eyes. This leaning, pulling his head in, brushing his head, brushing down. This is a fun experiment, and we plan to do this with some other techniques and show you how this plays out. I suggest playing with this.